Broadcasting to the world. To the world. To the world. To the world. It's time.
He's joyful, kind, giving, and he celebrates the season all year round. That's enough about me. Here's TY at Night.
All right. Hey, Marcos, how about it, brother?
Good evening, buddy. What's up?
Yep. Good evening to you too, man. Cheers. Cranking out yet another edition of TY at Night. Doing it Christmas style as we edge ever closer to that magical day of the year, Christmas. Of course, New Year's right after that. Going to be bringing on a legend here of the world of Christmas music. His name is Dr. Elmo Shropshire. You probably know him better, not from his name, but from the singer, composer, songwriter, and legend behind the iconic Christmas tune, Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. All right, buddy, you got him on the line?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go.
Well, joining us on the line, it's an honor speaking with Dr. Elmo Shropshire. You know, Dr. Elmo, I must preface this by saying through my radio career, respectfully, each of the stations that I've gone to, I've been able to set up an interview with you, and you have been the first guest since I was at Clear Channel Nashville.
And I'll tell you something else is that I was talking to my producer during show prep before the show tonight, and it has to be, if my memory serves correct, it has to be about 12 years, if not a couple of more, that you and I have stayed in touch. And so I appreciate that. And
I swear it's an honor to have you on.
It's my honor, Ty. I'm so happy to be following you to all these stations.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you join us. Dr. Elmo, of course, original writer, composer, singer of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Doctor, do you ever get tired of it?
I never do, because, you know, I get a little break during the rest of the year. And so when Christmas rolls around, it's like a wonderful old tradition for me now. It's been about 34 years, I think. So I still really enjoy, you know, talking with people like you, and at Christmas time, it's like we have a reunion every year.
Yes, and that's kind of how I shared the preface there of the interview was, you know, once a year, it's like long-distance family.
That's right.
Well, 1967, the age of 31, a lot of folks don't realize that you were into veterinary school.
That's right. I went to Auburn to veterinary school.
How about that?
Yeah.
Can I get a big war eagle?
Hey, War Eagle.
That's right.
Yes, sirree. Yeah, especially this year, you're going to get a bigger War Eagle. Definitely. That should be a great game this year.
1979, you officially released what is known as still today, Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
That's right.
doing it Christmas style tonight. On the line with us live is Dr. Elmo, singer, songwriter, and composer of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Doctor, tell everybody about that story and how you got started with that song.
When I first recorded it, I just recorded it as sort of a gag gift for some of my friends. At the time, I was still a veterinarian, and I never even thought of taking it to a radio station. But one of my friends took it to a radio station, and they started playing it. A lot of people said they loved it. A lot of other people said they hated it and never wanted to hear it again.
Well, 1982, Grandma became the most requested Christmas song, get this, in radio history.
Well, you know, what's amazing about that song is a lot of people did request it, because in the early days, you know, kids would say they heard, you know, where this song where Grandma got killed at Christmas. And nobody could believe it, so they would call in to, you know, to try and see if there was really a song like that. And then I think, you know, a lot of other people just called in to make their grandma mad.
Yeah. Well, speaking of making people mad, I've talked with you about this story before. In 1986, DJ Jack Daniels, boy, he got fired for not only just playing Grandma once or twice or maybe a half dozen times. Jack played it 27 times in a row.
That he did. and then he got fired, and I still talk to him today. He's changed his name now. He's no longer in the radio business, but it made worldwide headlines.
Well, that's great. I was going to ask you this year if I could play it 28 times for you.
At your own risk.
Oh, boy. Well, 1995, as we continue to talk with Dr. Elmo here. Hey, you've got to have an honor at this, too. You know, we talked about you saying earlier it being the most requested song with kids. Well, Parenting Magazine recognized that, calling radio stations requesting Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. It was the #1 thing for kids to do, and, of course, what they loved about the holidays. You kind of talked about that.
Yes. Well, you know, as I said before, you know, kids really embraced the song right away, because until that song came out, it was mostly Bing Crosby's White Christmas and Nat King Cole's The Christmas Song. And so there wasn't anything around that had become a Christmas classic that, you know, that sort of poked fun at Christmas and was sort of light and irreverent. And of course, kids always gravitate to something like that. They always say, well, you know, it's a Christmas song, but you know, when Grandma gets throttled at Christmas, hey, that's not all bad.
Oh boy, you've got to sit back and enjoy some eggnog and just the lyrics of what you present here. It is comical, it is funny, and it is definitely a classic in nearly every household worldwide.
You know, it's amazing to me that it became like that, and that in every year, you know, everyone would embrace it again. Like in the first number of years, Ty, in the first 10 years, every year after Christmas, I thought, well, that was fun, but it's over now. And then next Christmas it would happen, next Christmas it would happen. And it wasn't until about 15 years in that people started calling and saying, you know, we're having a Christmas concert, and wonder if there's anybody there that can sing that song in the concert. And I said, yeah, I can sing it.
Man.
As a result, got to play on the bill with a lot of big name stars.
On the line, still joining us, Dr. Elmo, writer of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, playing some pretty big gigs here recently. We were talking about some big names, Dr. Elmo, and speaking of big bills, of course, appearing on even Good Morning America, singing the famous song, and you were even on one of the popular late night shows with Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, I got to play with the Roots.
How about that? That's a great band.
Yeah, that is a great band. You know, sometimes when you see them, they occasionally look like a kind of a bunch of roughnecks and thugs. But I walked into the room. They said, "Would you want to rehearse with the Roots before you sing the song?" I said, "Yeah." And I walked in there, and those guys are all like Juilliard-trained musicians. They can play anything, anytime. And the first time we played it, they sounded exactly like the soundtrack, you know, that we made for the original recording.
Well, that's got to be an honor that you've done that. You've, of course, having Grandma released with American Greetings, official Christmas cards now.
Yes, you know, for years, Hallmark and American Greetings, we would ask them if they wanted to put a Christmas card out about Grandma got run over by a reindeer, and they said, "Oh, absolutely not, absolutely not." You know, they're extremely conservative.
Yeah.
And then finally, you know, in the last few years, they came around, and Hallmark made a Christmas tree ornament that sings the song. And so we figure, like, when you're with Hallmark and American Greetings, you're finally made the mainstream.
Dr. Elmo Shropshire, live right here on TY at Night, singer, songwriter, composer of the iconic Christmas tune, Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. So,
talking mainstream, you definitely have made the mainstream and beyond, but beyond the musical aspect of your career, Dr. Elmo, you are what many folks may not realize, and that is a competitive runner.
Yes, I started running about 20 years ago, and I think it's sort of the fountain of youth, or, you know, the fountain of health to run. You know, as long as your legs will allow you to do it. And so I have been competing, and now that I'm the age I'm at right now, you know, the competition isn't as stiff as it used to be. And I've been winning a few races.
You have. Now tell me, though, because you've got to share with people that you finished 9th for your age division in not just any marathon, but we're talking the New York City Marathon.
Right. I was really happy to get that finish because I think there were 121 70-year-olds in in that race.
Oh, wow.
And I was when I went into the race, I was well trained. I thought I was going to do better than that, but there's a lot of tough runners in there.
In our eyes, hey, you're always first place, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
This year, you won not just any medal, but a gold medal for representing who?
The U.S.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. You know, last year was the first time I ever ran in a national championship, and a friend of mine talked me into going. I was just going because he was going to go, and he said that if I ran, that we would have a team. Like, it took 3 guys to have a team.
Yeah.
So I went to San Diego and ran in the U.S. National Championship, and to my great surprise, I won a gold medal there. And so this year I decided to go to the World Masters Games. The same runner asked me if I wanted to go to the World Masters Games in Brazil. And that's pretty much like the Olympics for people over 35.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Olympians, you know, that turn 35 that go and run in those races. I ran there, and I got on the American relay, the U.S. relay team, and we won the gold medal.
That is amazing. We applaud you on that because I know you're very, very excited. Will you continue to run? Do you have other marathons lined up here, even at the first part of the year?
I do, yes. I really love running, and as long as I can do it, I'm going to keep doing it.
Well, we will continue to follow not only your musical career and enjoyment worldwide as we do every Christmas holiday, but now even better, the fact that you are running and competing in
Just about every marathon that you can. So keep up the great work, Dr. Elmo. We appreciate your time. It's hard to believe it's been more than 12 years since we first started talking, so we are in great support of you, sir.
Oh, you always have, Ty. I so appreciate all your support.
Hey, that's not a problem. You know, Santa's not here yet, but I've got to ask you for a huge favor.
Yes.
Some people ask for this, for that, for Christmas. I, as a single parent, have got to ask you to help me sing Send Me a Wife for Christmas.
Okay. All right.
Would you mind singing us a little excerpt of that, maybe helping my wish come true?
Make her look like a model from Vanity Fair, with a figure that makes a man kneel down in prayer. She'll be wild for my wide body and thinning hair. Santa, send Ty a wife for Christmas.
Yes! Hey, the thinning hair part, definitely spot on, Dr. Elmo. It's always a pleasure to speak with you, and we look forward to many, many more talks with you in the future.
And so do I, Ty. I really appreciate you guys thinking of me every year. What a wonderful time. It was great. I'm a lucky guy to know you, Ty. Thank you so much.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
There you go, Dr. Elmo Shropshire, singer, songwriter, composer of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, our annual tradition, as best we can, for the past 12 plus years here at TY at Night. Glad to have him aboard. Don't forget, you can go back and replay this podcast. It'll be posted on our website, tyatnight.com. It'll be posted on YouTube, as well as Twitter and SoundCloud, our audio platform. I love that guy, Marcos. He's been great to me over the years, man. 86 years old, still going strong, still doing concerts, still running marathons. And I complain when I'm out of macaroni and cheese and Coke Zero and ramen noodles. Merry Christmas. Oh, boy.
This has been another edition of TY at Night. Be sure to check us out online, tyatnight.com.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at TY at Night.